The Central African Republic has experienced a conflict for almost 20 years. There were many different reconciliation processes in the Central African Republic. But despite these reconciliation processes, conflicts continued, which means that we didn't have the right approach for reconciliation. As a leader, I was involved in all of the reconciliation processes and conflict resolution processes in my country. I saw that people were bringing together the elites and the political ruling class to resolve the problems. The population was not involved, the grassroots was not involved. No one felt involved in these reconciliation and peace-building processes. So I thought that we needed to change how we were resolving our conflicts by starting with reconciliation at the grassroots level. People need to feel involved. The population needs to feel involved in reconciliation processes. Society had completely broken down. If these communities couldn't learn how to live in harmony again, how to speak to one another and forgive one another, we would never have true reconciliation. Because if only the elite and armed groups and political ruling class are going to resolve the problems of the people, then the outcome will be completely lost. Women have a very important role to play in conflict resolution. Because of their sensibility as women, as mothers, they can encourage social cohesion. They can send a message of peace. And very often, women are the ones who take on the responsibilities in the family, while the men are out waging war. During the most difficult times of conflict, when there is an impasse, when the situation is blocked, women can take action and try to resolve these issues. When I saw that the Central African Republic could fall into this impasse, I thought that only female leadership could help the country come out of this violence and conflict which we have experienced for about 2 years. But in order to have this level of leadership, you need to have a clear path. You need to have an education. And most women in Africa do not have the opportunity to get an education. In addition, you need a vision. You need to be committed. You need to be available to your family, your community, and your country. I think that's the message I want to give to women. They need to seize their rights. No one will give them their rights. And in order to seize their rights, they need to work hard. They need to be committed. And they need to have the ability to resist, because working alongside men is not always easy for a woman leading a country. Absolutely. There is an undeniable link between reconciliation and transitional justice. In order for the population to feel reassured, in order for the population to begin to forget the violence that they experienced and the struggles that they lived through during conflict, there needs to be justice. Those who committed these crimes need to be held accountable. Those who committed crimes, if they are living in impunity, the population is unable to mourn and accept reconciliation. It is very important to promote justice and reparations after conflicts. The Central African Republic is a typical example of a fragile country for several reasons. It's experienced conflict for several years. Because of these conflicts, the state has completely failed. The state no longer has the attributes of a normal state. It no longer has any authority. It no longer has a presence in the country. The Central African Republic is also a fragile state because its population lives in poverty and precariousness. And when populations live in poverty, in precariousness, conflicts emerge very easily. The Central African Republic is fragile because its communities no longer live in harmony as they once did. So we had several factors contributing to this fragility. There's also the issue of economic development because the economy had completely collapsed. So there were no job opportunities for young people, for women who felt that they were on the margins of society. So they were easily used by others to fuel conflict. As part of our efforts to come out of this fragility, we sought the help of the international community, which gave us its support in our efforts to come out of this fragile situation. Many challenges were addressed, but there remain many challenges, specifically security challenges, humanitarian challenges, and development challenges. We will continue to advocate so that our partners, our technical and financial partners, continue to support us through the end of the transition, and especially so that they may support the new authorities that will take power, so that the efforts of the international community are not lost. Actually, it's not religion as such that contributed to the conflict in the Central African Republic. Politicians and armed groups were the ones who used the people through religion. The people of the Central African Republic represent various religions and have always lived in harmony. But for political reasons, others tried to create artificial divisions between the people. And the people understood this. They understood that they had been used. And actually, religious leaders are the ones who are becoming involved and working so that religion is never again used to separate the people of the country. The only piece of advice that I can give, because he is a statesman, he has experience in managing government, and he's coming back to that, the only advice that I can give him is that his victory shouldn't be the victory of one group. It should be a victory for the entire population of the Central African Republic. They worked so that elections could be held peacefully and so that the country could return to constitutional order. Without a return to constitutional order, we will be unable to receive the necessary support to implement different projects and programs for the people and for the nation as a whole. It is only together that the sons and daughters of the Central African Republic can rebuild the country.